So, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the webinar being hosted by Mahindra Ecole Central. It's good to see a lot of participants joining in for this session on a Sunday morning. The topic for this session today is students' life at MEC, basically from a student's perspective. And we have a student, Mr. Athish, who's joining here to kind of share his perspective, share his thoughts and journey at MEC with you all. Just before I hand over the stage to him, like a brief introduction about Mahindra Ecole Central, I would like to share with you. Mahindra Ecole Central is one of the it's an engineering college set up in Mahindra Group in collaboration with Ecole Central Paris in 2014. And I'm sure like many of you know about Mahindra Group. And to talk about Ecole Central, it's one of the leading universities or colleges based in France. It is based out of Paris. It has a rich history of about 200 years, producing some world-renowned engineers. Some of the very prominent people who graduated from Ecole Centrale are Gustave Eiffel, the architect of Eiffel Tower, the founder of Peugeot cars. Armand Peugeot studied in Ecole Centrale. Then we had the founder of Michelin tires, André Michelin, studied in Ecole Centrale. So they have a rich history of producing some world-renowned engineers, and we have collaborated with them, and we set this institute up in 2014 in Hyderabad. So that's a very brief introduction, and this is a part of the series of webinars which we have been doing. And last Friday we had a webinar on Industry Connect initiatives at Mahindra Ecole Central. We had a director sharing his thoughts with the students and the parents who had logged in. Now I request our student Athish to share his thoughts and his journey at MEC. Over to you, Athish.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Athish, and I am a third-year student here at Mahindra Ecole Central. I am in the computer science department at Mahindra Ecole Central. To share a few things, I think the first thing that any of you would want to know is why MEC. And so first thing you'd like to know is why I chose MEC in the first place. Well, the first thing that struck me here at MEC was obviously the campus as I walked in, the lush green campus at MEC. And then the second thing is the way you're treated when you come in. So the orientation program at MEC was something very unique, is what I felt, where you have a panel of teachers who want to know why you want to take a particular stream. They want to know more things about you. Although you have a selection criteria where you have to clear the JEE mains exam or have the SAT exam. So based on the criteria.
We're not able to see the video.
All right. All right. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. So based on that, there's a counseling session where you're able to interact with them, get to know some things about the college, and they want to know some things about you. And it's a very fun interaction, and it was really nice. Moving ahead, how things have been in the past 3 years, they've been brilliant in the past 3 years from a student's perspective. Of course, you have your academics, all those things are there obviously, but I feel here I take this platform to share more things about things that happen outside the campus, more to do with the club activities, more to do with the hostels, more to do with things that happen other than academic things. One is a student club. I myself am a part of a couple of clubs, namely the quiz club, the computer science club, robotics club, and a couple of others. We have a very rich culture here, emerging culture at MEC of clubs, where a group of students get together, debate, brainstorm ideas, and make it happen. And the staff here, our faculty members, are very passionate about things they do. Other than your academic stuff, they always try and help you out with projects, pet projects, and other things at MEC. Moving ahead with what we have done from an academic point of view, it's not just things that happen for the purpose of the curriculum. We do internships at MEC. We have a compulsory internship in the second year and the third year that we do at Mahindra Ecole Central. I've been lucky to get an internship in Germany during the winter of 2017. And it was a wonderful experience for me, having gone there, knowing the people there, how they work, the culture, and of course, learning some knowledge, getting knowledge about how data science works abroad and how people perceive this particular field. It's very good to have new perspective about things. And this particular summer, I have some of my friends who've gone abroad already. They're already doing their internships right now. And I will be doing my internship this semester at NUS Singapore, and I shall be leaving in a week now. So it's very exciting, and this is something all of us look forward to, getting opportunities to mingle with cross-cultured people with different ideas, different thoughts. And this gives us more exposure, not just in terms of culture, but also in terms of choices as a student who'd want to go further and look at different career options. And anything else that we'd like to add upon, sir?
You can talk about the annual events at MEC.
Right. So at MEC, we have quite a few annual events. Aether is our techno-cultural fest. We have Aero, our sports fest. We have a TEDx event, TEDx Mahindra Ecole Central, that happens every year. We've already had 2 successful editions of TEDx Mahindra Ecole Central, and Aether has been a growing event, and I've been lucky to be a part of the organizing committee for Aether this year, and I'd like to say it was a great success, having been a part of the organizing team. And I think the culture of organizing fests is something very nice. With a crowd of just 240 students, you have a lot of people who are passionate, and this is a place where you can get recognized in terms of the things you're good at. With a bunch of 1,000 people here, 240 per branch, I think it is really nice to know each other, to know the strengths of each other, to know where one can help the other, and bring out an event as a whole and making it a success, walking through all odds, I think is a big thing here at MEC. Another thing that we have is the Central Connect, which is a platform for industrialists and academicians from various backgrounds, from very high level, coming and talking to students, giving them, imparting some knowledge, informing them about the field outside, and enlightening us about things that happen outside the purview of Mahindra Ecole Central. So we had one successful edition of Central Connect this year, a couple of months ago, and we have panelists coming from all walks of academics, all walks of industry, people from Fortune 500 companies, a lot of high-profile people from the government, DRDO, and it is really inspiring. Another thing that we have at MEC is the guest lectures, and I think that is something that sets us apart from most of the colleges in Hyderabad or in India. So we had Dr. Abdul Kalam come in, and Dr. David Payne, and Professor Serge Harosh, who's a Nobel laureate. I wasn't lucky enough to meet Professor Kalam because I joined a year later, but my seniors were, and they share really good experience having sat through a session by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. I was lucky to be there when Professor Serge Harosh was here. He was a Nobel laureate in the year 2012. So it was nice to be in his presence, imbibe some motivation from him, and it's been really great. We've had our own shares of being, it becomes as a part of being a student that you have to go through some trouble. And I think at MEC, one thing is that you can always tell people what you want, and people are there to back you up at any given point of time. Be it the faculty, be it the support staff, the administration staff, they're always there to help you. And that is something I've really liked about MEC. Anything else that we'd like to add?
Yeah, so we'd like to make this session interactive. So if any of the students and the parents, if you have any questions, please shoot our questions. So before moving on, like one of the questions which is coming in is, what made you choose MEC over other institutes, Athish?
Right. So I cleared my mains and I was looking for a college, and knowing that at MEC we have an all PhD faculty is a major plus. So people here mean business when they talk about academics. They know their field, and they're experts in their field. And this just inspires you. This gives you an opportunity to know more than what you would otherwise in a particular field. This also helps establish links outside of your college, because these faculty members have graduated from one of the best colleges in the world and have links there. So it helps as students, you get to work with these faculty who are really good, and also a chance to work with faculty abroad or in other good colleges, good universities inside India. And that, I think, is a major plus from an academic point of view for me.
Okay, now so we request the students and the parents to start sharing their questions, or if there are any queries you would want us or Athish to address. We'd wait for the questions to come in. So there's a question, Mr. Kamaraj is asking, what about the fee structure? The fee structure for the college is, the academic fees is 4 lakhs per annum. It's a mandatory residential program, so students have to stay on campus. The fees, the hostel and mess charges and gym khana and other facility fees would come to 1,75,000. So 4 lakhs is the academic fee, and 1,75,000 is the hostel and mess charges and other facility fees. Yeah, the next question which comes in is, what about the infrastructure, sports infrastructure available at the college?
So I think this is something I'm really excited to talk about, because infrastructure at MEC is something really nice. I've been to a couple of colleges before I joined MEC, yes, but I've never seen infrastructure like this one. This has a look of a B school, probably, with the classrooms that we have, with the labs that we have. We have amazing labs. These include not just the typical mechanical workshops that we have, the computer labs that we have, and electrical labs. We have some innovative labs, such as design thinking lab, where you just go in there and explore what you want. There are no boundaries, there are no restrictions. It's a big hall with a lot of props. with a lot of papers, pencils. You can just go crazy there, develop ideas. We have a course on design thinking as well, which is something which is an upcoming thing in the world today, and a lot of colleges are offering, which you might not see in India probably, but in one of the most of the Ivy League schools, this is a very growing concept of design thinking. And at MEC, we are introduced to that at a grassroots level, and that is something very exciting. Another lab that we have is a prototype lab and the 3D printer lab, and I think this is something very unique in terms of placement in a college that has only bachelors. It gives us it is exciting in the first place where you can go and toy around with these. Second of all, you learn things that are actually used in the world outside. The prototyping labs gives you facility to start from an ideating process to finishing and creating a prototype. So the entire process can take place in that particular lab. Another thing which I really enjoyed in my first year was the photography and the photography and the videography course that we had called SE. So we are expected to shoot a small documentary film in the first year, and we have a media lab which helps you do all that. We have about 6 to 8 Macs where you have the software, necessary software, and you are expected to edit, shoot, and record, dub everything for that particular thing. And this has been a really nice process for us. So these are the labs that we have, other than the mechanical lab, the electrical lab, the chemistry lab, physics lab, and the typical labs that you'd expect at an engineering college.
Another question is French mandatory?
Yes, French is mandatory for the first 2 years. And I think after being through French for 2 years, you won't be in a position where you'll say, no, I don't want to continue French. Because I was given an option not to continue French after second year, but I did not take that. So I did continue into the French teaching, French classes. You have 2 per week, not very strenuous, but it's obviously advantageous. And that has been something that I've really enjoyed. And I think you should look forward to your French classes. It's always good to have a new language, an international language, and knowing there are about 80 to 90 francophones in the world. French is a major player in the languages today.
So there's a question by Nilesh Sagar on, is the infrastructure shared with Tech Mahindra?
Okay, so our building where the teaching happens is not shared with Tech Mahindra. The Tech Mahindra is separate. There's a separate building. We also have an SEZ building, so we do not share that. But some facilities, 1 or 2, is shared with Tech Mahindra. Let's say the swimming pool is shared with the Tech Mahindra. We have other than the pool, we have a pool table and caroms, which is also shared with Tech Mahindra. But other than that, we have our own facility when it comes to the building for academic purposes, our labs, and also with respect to a couple of sports grounds, volleyball, tennis, and badminton.
There's a question again on when the counseling starts.
Okay.
So the first phase of counseling for all eligible applicants is being scheduled on 25th of May. So students with a JEE score of 74 and above have been called in for the first phase of counseling, and counseling is happening simultaneously in Hyderabad, Mumbai, and Delhi. So all the eligible applicants who submitted their application have been already invited, and incidentally today is the last date for the first phase, to be eligible for first phase of counseling. So all the eligible applicants who are 74 and above, please do drop in your applications if you're not already done. A counseling invitation would be sent across to you, and all the people who already applied, an invitation has already been sent out to them. How is practical learning achieved during academic program? Is what a question from one of the viewers.
So I am basically from a computer science department. So probably you wouldn't expect a lot of practical things in terms of labs, because all you need is a computer and an internet connection. So not much in with respect to that. But we at MEC, one more thing I forgot to tell you guys is that for the first 2 years for our batch, we had a shared syllabus with Mahindra, with the students, with other students. So we also got to go through a couple of electrical engineering courses, mechanical courses, for which, yes, we did go to labs, we made prototypes, and we got a lot of practical learning experience, yes, with respect to electrical equipment, with respect to mechanical labs operating machines, and yes, we do get a lot of practical learning here at MEC. And yes, as you clearly said, it is a USP of Mahindra Ecole Centrale.
So there's a question on, out of 8 semesters, how many semesters one needs to study at foreign university? So to answer to that, so there is no mandatory stay or a study or a semester program which you'll have to go abroad and do it. It's primarily we provide internship opportunities for students. You can pursue this internship for a span of about 2 months or 3 months, depending on the nature of the project. And we have a lot of students from our second and third and final years going across international universities to pursue their internship programs. So that's the kind of a connect which we provide. And it is not mandatory that a student has to go abroad and do a semester or a particular part of the course over there. So another question is when the counseling through SAT will take place. So already to keep you updated, the SAT, as you understand, SAT happens multiple times in a year. And for students who already taken the December and January SAT, first round of selections have already been done to them, and we offered few admissions to the students. Subsequently, students are taking the May SAT. We're going to have a second round of interactions for them during mid of June, and students who are going to take the upcoming SAT on 2nd of June. The final round of selections for them will happen sometime in mid of July. So that's the timelines for SAT interactions. Is there any management quota? No, we don't have any management quota seats. What are the interest rates charged by banks for education loans? So it depends on bank to bank. So we have published the details of the bankers on our website. So students who would want to avail banking loans, so do approach them and kind of have a direct connect with them and understand what the kind of loan interest they charge primarily. Which branch has the highest value in MEC? So I would hand it over to Athish to answer that.
I don't think that is how we should look at things about which branch gives you highest value. I think all branches here at MEC are equally placed in terms of knowledge in their particular field. So I am not very sure because as I told you guys, we have a combined first 2 years where we go through all subjects. So even a mechanical student has to go through a computer science course or an electrical course or a civil course. So things are evenly placed out at MEC, and I really wouldn't put one branch over the other here at MEC. So probably we'll move on to the next question.
So how does creative sciences at MEC help you? What kind of differentiator that provides to you?
Yes. So we've had a couple of very interesting courses. As I mentioned earlier, we have had a course on photography, videography, which is more of a passion thing and is something that a lot of students these days would like to venture into. So that is a great push. Secondly, things that probably fetch you a job or an internship outside would be the subjects of economics, corporate finance, management. So we have these courses as a part of the humanitarian courses at MEC. We learn. We've already, as a third year, as a person who's finished my third year, I've already been through these courses. Economics was a great subject that we had to get to know about things that happen around you. Corporate finance and management also helps. So now I am able to have a conversation with someone who'd like to talk about, let's say, Sensex, Nifty, and all sorts of things like stock markets. And it is something that all of us should know. And at MEC, it is made mandatory. So everybody has an idea of what is happening around in the corporate world, in the finance world outside. So that is a great plus. And other than that, we have courses in English. We have a course where you are helped to prepare a resume for yourself. You're given tips. You're given help in any other form in formatting your resumes, and these resumes are gone through by our faculty members. And any other tips that you like from them, any other things that they would like to change, they help you out with those things. And of course, your statement of purpose SOPs are something that universities abroad or in India, for that matter, ask after you finish your fourth year. And we have a course on that as well, where you are asked to write down an SOP and try to put out your feelings, your expressions, your experience at MEC into words. And that's something that is really helpful as we go ahead in this particular process.
So how many midterm exams are conducted for each semester, and what is the last year's cutoff for computer science? So I would request you to address the first part.
Okay, so per semesters, initially we used to have 2 mid-sems before the end semester exam per every semester, but of late we've had 1 mid-semester exam and an end semester exam. The lab also counts towards your final grade, and you have internal assessments that happen inside the classroom, be it a quiz inside the classroom or presentations or project reviews. So these all form a part of the final grade that you get for every subject at the end of 1 semester. And the second part, sir?
Yeah, on the cutoffs, before that, like there's also a question on what is the eligibility criteria for admission. So to kind of clearly specify that, so we take admissions to the college primarily on two examinations. One is JEE Mains, the other one is SAT examination. The requirement through JEE Mains is that the student should qualify from JEE Mains to advanced, or the all India ranking has to be less than 2,20,000. So that's a primary eligibility criteria for students applying through JEE Mains. So for now, what we're doing is students who got a score of 74 and above, we have been inviting them for a first round of counseling on 25th of June, sorry, 25th of May, and subsequently the second round and third round will happen sometime in June and July. And students applying through SAT, the we already have done first round of interviews. As I just mentioned that the subsequent phases will happen in May and in June, June and in July, and coming to the cutoffs, last year it's a very dynamic thing. So, for example, for last year the cutoff for computer science has been 124, and for students for mechanical and triple E it has been 100, and 81 was for civil engineering. So these are completely indicative numbers. The exact scores would kind of completely vary on how many students turn up for the day of counseling. So based on the last year's trend, we are giving out these indicative cutoffs for last year's various branches we had. How many installments the fees has to be paid? So primarily the fee has to be paid in two installments. First installment, like currently how it will happen for the first year admission is that you'll have to pay 2 lakhs on the day of counseling, which is on 25th May, and 1,75,000 with the caution deposit of 20,000, which is refundable, will have to be paid on by 15th of July, and the last installment of 2 lakhs has to be paid in first week of December. So that's the timelines you'll have to follow. Subsequently, for the second year, it will be like primarily the first like 3,75,000 will have to be paid before the commencement of the college, and the second installment of 2 lakhs will be paid in the first week of the subsequent semester. So that's the kind of installments which will be given to the student. How do you support the students who are interested in research? Is a question from Harsha.
Research at MEC has been bubbling of late. We have faculty members who are themselves people who are interested in research and are doing research. So you can approach someone with an idea that you have, or would approach them saying that you really don't know much about that particular field and you'd like to know and do some research in a field that they are already doing research in. And this has helped and paid off for a couple of people. We have a couple of in terms of research, we have a couple of papers that have been published by students. So all of us came in with knowing nothing about any of these things. But once we're here, once we talk to professors, once we share what we would like to do, they always guide you, they groom you. And it is a very important thing to talk to your professors here at MEC, because we have really, really good faculty. Let me just mention that again. We have really good faculty here at MEC, well educated, and they are experts in their area. And I'm looking forward to a couple of you also publishing papers at MEC further on, coming here and being a part of this particular family.
What is the total strength in MEC? If you see, our intake per year is 240 students. We have 4 streams: computer science, mechanical, triple E, and civil engineering, and each branch has 60 students per branch. What is the minimum score required to get into MEC through SAT? The minimum score required is 1800. You'll have to write maths, physics, chemistry. Those 3 subjects are mandatory, and each subject is for 800 marks. So cumulatively, out of 2,400, you have to get a score of 1800 to be eligible for admissions into the college. Okay, so there has been a question on placement. So just to kind of emphasize on that, so we're not touching upon placements today because we had an elaborate session done by our director just a couple of days back on Friday. So we will be sharing a link to the webinar to all the students and the participants, or the registered students who are registered with us primarily. So we'll be sending you a link, and it's also there on our Facebook page. So please do go through it. More elaborate information on placements and other statistics have been already discussed. So there's a question on, can you give an example on projects that were done in CSC to the first?
So I'll just go through the question. It says they want to know about some projects that we've done as a part of the computer science curriculum here. And apart from that, the summer internships and the final year projects that have been a part of the particular curriculum. So as a part of computer science branch, we have done a couple of projects regarding, so in computer science, it's mostly projects that we choose to do for that particular subject. So we are given a broad topic, and we are to choose a particular topic and do a project. So I would like to talk about the projects that I have done. So I've done a couple of projects. These have been group projects as well as individual projects. One has been using something called as machine learning policy deviant method. We use this policy gradient method, sorry, to solve reverse pendulum problems that we just finished. Also, one had to do with aircraft collision avoidance systems. And these are a couple of projects, and other ones that general projects are, let's say, simulating flow over a plate. And I'm not very sure about what the other people have done as a part of the curriculum. It's mostly group wise, so we tend to finish our projects. But a lot of projects have been done as a part of our OS course. I think operating systems course. A lot of good projects have been initialized. So we had to create our own shell, and it was really exciting. It was very hard initially, but once you get through, once you understand the working, once you go and approach a faculty, talk amongst the students, come up with ideas, CSE projects are really, really interesting. As a part of the clubs, we have introduced a lot of new projects. And being a part of the computer science club, we are planning on introducing new concepts and new projects as a part of the club activity to give you things that are not probably covered in your curriculum, which include, let's say, IoT projects or something to do with supervised learning, or something very basic as web programming and things like that. Yes.
So there's a question on my SAT score is 2250. What are the chances to get into computer science? See, as we said, like there'll be an interview which will be followed for all the SAT applicants based on past year trends, and based on what we can tell you is there's a very good chance that you will get computer science. Will you publish rank list based on main score? No, we do admissions primarily on counseling, based on JEE mains marks. So there'll be no rank list which will be published, but the students will have to come to the counseling along with all the documents required, and you will be allocated seat based on your score and what branch is available for your score. What kind of subjects are going to be taught by MEC other than other colleges?
I think I've already mentioned.
Okay, so I think Athish had elaborately covered on that. One query is 60 marks in MSET examination. So we don't take admissions through MSET examinations. It's primarily on JEE mains. I'm reiterating that admissions happen only through JEE mains and SAT. Is there any chance for lateral entry? No, we don't have a process of lateral entry admission at this stage. So it's primarily going to be only on JEE mains or SAT, that too in the first year of engineering. Details about faculty. So it's completely clearly published on our website. So we request you to kindly go through our website. The question was on basically they want to know about the profiles of the faculty in mechanical engineering. All the faculty profiles have been clearly published on our website. So we request you to kindly take some time and go through the website. All the details in terms of the research experience, study experience, work experience, everything has been clearly specified on our website. Please share the refund policy. The refund policy is like very simple. For any student who wants to withdraw from the college at any point of time before the commencement of college, the only 1,000 rupees will be deducted for that student, and that's purely as per the AICTE rule. So for their first phase of counseling, you'll be paying 2 lakhs of fees. So in case you would want to withdraw at any point of time before the commencement of college, only 1,000 rupees will be deducted, and rest of 1,99,000 will be refunded back to the student. And this refund policy has been published on our website in the admission notification. So we request you to kindly refer that. My OBC rank is 44,000. Can I get admission into the civil department? So it primarily depends on your JEE score. So since you're saying that your rank is 44,000, so since you fall under the category of less than 2,20,000 rank category, so if your score is above 74, you would already get a counseling. You would automatically get a counseling invite from us, provided you apply to the college. And which branch purely depends on what is your availability of seats for that particular score. How would you compare MEC to a college like NIT? So I'd like Athish to answer that.
So I wouldn't take this platform for defaming a college or talking about how some college is bad, but I think I take this chance to tell them about how our college is better. So I think the infrastructure at MEC is a striking difference between colleges like you've mentioned and MEC, and our rooms. I think that is a major part of staying at MEC, because you have to stay in a college for 4 years. It's a residential college, so you have to stay. The rooms are really good, so I think they are better than most of the college rooms that I have seen in colleges outside of Hyderabad, outside of this particular state, be it NITs or a couple of IITs. So other than that, the peer group is very encouraging here at MEC, and the teachers, the faculty are a major push at MEC. With an all PhD faculty, you could literally go and talk to them about any, you name a field and you have a professor here at MEC to address that particular field. Even if they don't know, I think they here they make an effort to go out of their way, look for things and help you out in your problem. So I wouldn't be defaming any colleges saying this is bad, but I here will take this platform and say MEC is better. Thank you.
There's a question: do we have transportation facility available? See, like we are a completely residential program, so there's no point of there's no having any transportation arranged as such. But yes, students and there are the private cab service providers like Uber and Ola are available, so students can kind of avail that in case they would want to go around anywhere. Is general SAT considered? No, we consider admissions only through SAT subject tests of maths, physics, chemistry. How many seats are available per branch through SAT? On an average, if you see, our average intake through SAT has been 10 to 12% year on year. Do you have any other branches of MEC other than in Hyderabad? We have only one campus currently, that is in Hyderabad, in a place called Bahadurpalli. For 84 marks in JE, can I get mechanical branch? Looking at the current trend, Venu Praveen, the chances for mechanical engineering for 84 is 50-50, we would say, but it purely depends on how many students turn up on the day of counseling. So please do attend the counseling on 25th of May. Does admission take place on CBSE board marks? No, we take admissions primarily on CBSE board or CBSE or any +2 board. The mandatory requirement is students should get 60% in their +2. But apart from that, the admission of the criteria is basically JE mains or SAT. The question is about phase 2 and phase 3 counseling. When will that happen? Primarily, as I said, the NATE after first phase of counseling, which is happening on 25th of May, we would evaluate the number of students who are dropping out based on the sizable number of dropouts happening. Then we will do a second phase of counseling sometime in mid of June or third week of June. Typically, if you say what would be the date, you can expect it to be somewhere around 15th to 20th of June. Every year in that range is what we have been doing the counseling, and the exact date would probably published once the need arises, probably somewhere around 7th or 10th of June is when you can expect the second round of counseling dates to be published. Would you have seats left over after the first phase of counseling? So primarily, typically what has been happening all through is that during the first phase of counseling, all our seats would get filled up, but subsequently students would want to kind of withdraw because of whatever reasons. So for all these seats which are remaining vacant, which are arising because of the dropouts, we would have subsequent phases which will be filled up through the second and third phase of counseling for both JE as well as SAT applicants. Will I be able to get a seat of computer science for score of 2190? As I said, Mr. Karthik, you'll have to attend the counseling. The fee. You'll have to attend the counseling, which will be for SAT applicants, which will be held in second week of June or third week of June. So we will let you know what would be the possibilities only after the interaction which the panel will have with you. Is there any fee discount? So we provide, there's no fee discount as such, but we provide merit-based scholarships to students. Every year, 20% of the batch, which is of 240 students, 48 students would be eligible for scholarships. That would be top 12 students per branch are given scholarships. For the first year, the scholarships are awarded based on your performance on JE score or the SAT score. How it works out is the top 11 students through JE mains and one student through SAT would be offered scholarship for the first year. For the second year, it will be purely based on your first year engineering score performance. Third year it will be based on your second year's performance. So primarily it will be on the preceding year's academic performance would be considered for us to give you a scholarship. And the scholarship value is 1 lakh. So out of 240 students, 48 students are given scholarship year on year to the tune of 1 lakh. Is there any other fee discount? No other fee discount is there apart from the scholarships which we provide. The next question is why MEC has very high fee structure. So for the kind of quality of faculty we have, the kind of course offering which you'll have to make, the kind of industry connect opportunities the students would get, we are and this itself is a highly subsidized fee which we get of because of the support from Mahindra Group. The fee kind of what we charge is subsidized at this stage. And if at all you want to kind of get the similar kind of an exposure, probably you'll have to look at some international universities where you'll end up spending at least 3 times more. if seats get vacant, would you slide students internally to get into other branches during this, before the second phase? Yes, there is also sliding which happens simultaneously when the dropouts arise. So there would be possibility of students getting upgraded to other branches of their choice based on the availability of seats. What are the college timings and how many days in a week? So Athish, you
So typically, day at MEC starts at 8:30, and for some people it is at 9:30, and it goes on usually till 5:30, and that would be a general day. And after that, you can stay back in campus, use the internet here. You can stay back here, or you could go out and use one of our sports facilities and play some sports. So that is a typical day at MEC. Start at 8:30 and 5:30, and I think and we have a break of 1 hour in between for lunch and a 20-minute break for tea at 10:30, coffee tea at 10:30. So I think it's not a very hectic schedule, and the classes are easy going, so you wouldn't feel strenuous sitting in the class from 8:30 to 5:30, and I think you guys will enjoy it.
do we have any medical facility available on campus?
So we have an in-house doctor who comes in the evenings, and so in case you need something, you can always approach them, and they will give you the medication that is required. In case something a little severe comes about and it cannot be addressed by the in-house doctor, we have a hospital facility about 10 minutes away from campus, and I think any other serious things you could take it there. And so it's very close to medical, and medical facilities is not a big problem here. It's a 10-minute drive from Mahindra Ecole Central in case something very serious. Otherwise, we have an in-house doctor who comes in the evenings to treat you about let's say a cough or a cold or something of that particular sort. Still in mess facilities.
How are the hostel and mess facilities? To kind of brief you on that, we have an hostel which is twin sharing in nature. It's a non-AC room and with common toilets, and it's a very secure campus. You'll find that the campus is shared with Tech Mahindra, so for about 200 to 300 meters, you would find a lot of a security guard being available. So it's a very secure campus for both boys and girls as well. So about the mess facilities and the kind of food we serve, I would request this to Athish to kind of address.
So I think all of us wait for the biryani on Sundays that we get. The food is really good here. You get good food at MEC, and you get non-veg about twice a week, and about an egg on one day in the week. And the Western food is also good. We have a breakfast, lunch, snacks, and dinner at MEC, and I look forward to having all three at. And we also have a cafeteria in case you're bored about the food upstairs. There's a cafeteria that we have downstairs where you can go buy food. And I think there is no need for you to do that, but in case you do want to do that, you have a canteen downstairs, and you also have a couple of other small stalls there where you can probably buy a sandwich or get some Maggie or get some Frankie's, some tea, coffee, and that's something that you can avail up to, let's say, about 1:30 or 2 in the night.
Yeah, so what kind of softwares are available in the labs for a student to have access?
All right, so we have licensed MATLAB and COMSOL for people who know that, and not sure about any other software that we'd use, and I don't think we use any other software that we probably for the mechanical students, Abacus, ANSYS. I'm not very sure about that, but for CS we don't usually need a lot of other softwares. We have MATLAB. We have an official student license here at so students have a license here at MEC. So as long as you have the license here and you are in this vicinity, you can use the student license for MATLAB. And for COMSOL, we have a lab which has these softwares installed. You can use them, and other softwares like Anaconda and all are mostly free of cost, so you wouldn't really have to buy them. But the essential softwares, yes, they're provided. And we also have Microsoft. They give you a Microsoft account here once you join, so you could use Word online, Excel online, the Microsoft Office Suite online, and I think that is good enough for a student at MEC.
So what kind of institutions have gone for internships? So there's a combination of, see, the students go for internships for both of academic in nature as well as industry-based internships. If you see, last year we had about students going to internship for over 40 different organizations, and also various premier institutions within India and outside India as well. If you talk about India, they've gone to IIT, various IITs, they've gone to IISc Bangalore, they've gone to NITs as well. And if you talk about international universities, they've gone to Georgia Tech University, London School of Economics, Ecole Centrale, various research labs affiliated to Ecole Centrale as well. So that's been the kind of international opportunities the students have been getting. In fact, as Athish just mentioned, he's also going abroad for an internship shortly. What has been the student achievements?
As in terms of achievements, I think for a college that is this new, to have students who published papers and have presented papers in universities abroad, in challenges abroad, and to have won that is a big challenge. We have a couple of IEEE papers being published by students of the electrical department, and we also have papers from the students of the computer science department and in the computer science field, and a couple of papers in physics and chemistry by students. So that is something I consider as achievements by the students. Other than the academic part of achievements, we as MEC have represented our college in sports outside our college, in various colleges abroad, outside of our college, BITS Hyderabad, IIIT, to name a few. We have won football, volleyball competitions, badminton. We just hosted our own fest, a sports fest, where we had colleges from all parts of the city come in and participate. So both on the sports front and the academic front, we are making a name for ourselves in this very short span that we have been established here in Hyderabad.
What is the attendance requirement? It is 75%. Do you have any sports quota for admission? No, we don't have any sports quota for admission. It's purely on your JEE Mains or SAT scores. Any other questions, please? You can shoot in your questions. So there's been a question on placement. So we, as we said, we are going to there was a detailed webinar done on placement. So we request you to please go through it. All your queries, the query which you raised here has completely been addressed over there. So please do attend the do visit the webinar link which has already been given. How is life in general for NRI at MEC?
I am not very sure. I do have a couple of NRI friends, one from Qatar, one from Dubai, and I think they feel pretty much at home here. I don't see a lot of problems they face, other than probably the heat in Hyderabad, but I don't think they face a lot of issues when it comes to life at MEC, being an NRI student.
So what are the sports facilities available at MEC?
Yes. So as I mentioned earlier, we have volleyball. We have a couple of volleyball courts. We have a couple of tennis courts, basketball court, badminton center, pool table, swimming pool, and caroms. And we, in case, and a football field that is getting ready now. And in case of cricket, we go out and hire a bigger ground to be able to, in case there is a need. Otherwise, we use the in-house ground, which is there, which is a part of, which is in the Tech Mahindra side of the campus.
Are there physics and chemistry courses too? Yes, we do have physics and chemistry as a part of a course. JEE rank is 88,000. Will I get CSC? It's purely dependent on your JEE score, as I mentioned earlier, Anisha. So you'll have to wait for your JEE score. I mean, I'm sure you've got your JEE score, so please do apply for us, and then we'll let you know what's the possibility like. Course commencement date, it's 1st of August is when the course will commence, and probably 3 or 4 days before that, you'll have an orientation program for all the first engineering students who are going to be joining in. What are the hostel timings? How many students are there per room?
There are 2 of us per room, and the curfew would be around 11 for us to get back into our hostels. And I think that gives you enough time to hang out with your friends and probably go back to your rooms and get some sleep and get ready for next day at MEC.
So will MEC teach French subjects? We have French language as a part of the course, and it is taught primarily by Alliance Francaise, which is the authorized training partner for France in India. Course curriculum has been changed. Like very frequently we do keep updating our course curriculum. The question was primarily on how often do you update your course curriculum. We do update our course curriculum very often. We recently had a board of studies meeting few weeks back, which was where we had industry experts and we had experts from IITs and top institutions, and also our faculty, and the curriculum has recently got refined a bit, so that will kind of be published to the students shortly once it is approved by the board. MEC having girls hostel? Yes, we do have girls hostel. As we said, it's a mandatory residential program, so we do have girls hostel. What is the ratio of boys and girls on campus? So we have about, on an average, we had about 20 to 22% of students who are girls year on year. Is there any ragging? No, it's a ragging-free zone, so students can be. We have anti-ragging cell, and we do have hostel wardens and security in charges available on campus to take care of any untoward incidents which they might come across. Are there any college tours?
College tours, you can just come around and you can ask one of us to help you around the campus, and we would be more than happy to do that. There's no official campus tour as such, but you could approach anybody. You can just go wander around the campus. It's a very safe campus. You have guards all around to help you in case you lose your path. So there's no official campus tour of sorts, but you can always go around and explore Mahindra Equal Central's beautiful campus.
Meenakshi is asking, SAT score is 2120. What branches would I get? So Meenakshi, for you, there's very strong possibility for you to get into mechanical, triple E, or civil engineering.
So as I was saying, the papers are set and corrected by the faculty of MEC, although they would have to send it for approval to JNTU first. But in that sense, we have autonomy in terms of setting papers. So I'm not very sure about the exams being conducted along with the other colleges, because we have this kind of freedom in setting papers. So I'm not very sure about the exams happening alongside the JNTU colleges. But I would like to say that we usually finish early in terms of semesters, because I'm from Bangalore and my friends in Bangalore are still writing their exams, and I have been free for 1 month without any exam. So we do finish a little early, and JNTU also I'm expecting.
So just to kind of add on to it, we have an autonomy in terms of having our own curriculum, which is of course which is under the regulated frameworks of what JNTU and AICT have guided us. So the exams happen independently in the college. The evaluation also happens independently, but JNTU does regular reviews to ensure that we are within the regulatory framework defined by AICT and UGC. Can we get internships in any American companies or universities? Yes, our students have gone for internships in a lot of American universities, so you can expect that, Mukesh. How will I come to know if my application is submitted? So there's an automated email which you would get once your application is submitted and completely done. If in case of any questions, we have our helpline numbers published on our website. So we request you to call Sarvesh to get more info on any application query you would have. Commute from Hyderabad airport. So you the student or a parent who's dropping into the campus have to manage the transportation facilities, but we do have a lot of cabs flying in between the campus and Hyderabad, the airport.
What's the commute time? So it's about 1.5 hours.
Yeah, the transportation time to the airport is about 1 hour 15 minutes from the campus. Do you allow workshops? Yeah, we do have a lot of workshops happening on campus. So students can, there's a lot of student-driven workshops are also there, and also faculty-driven initiatives are also taking place on campus. JE score of 140, can I get computer science? Yes, Ajay, there's a good possibility that you would get computer science in the first phase of counseling. Is there a second chance to attend counseling if we miss 25th May? Yes, you would have, definitely. If you're eligible for admission, you would be getting a second round of second counseling invitation as well, in case you missed out the first phase. But yes, the branch allocation or seats would be completely based on the availability of the seats. With 96 score, can we get computer science? Sulekha, the chances of computer science with 96 is very remote at this stage. Any query about admission, whom to contact? So Sarvesh, you have if you go to our website, on the contact us page, you'll find our admission team's mobile number and email ID. So you please drop in an email or give us a call on a mobile or the landlines which are published on our website. Where does MEC stand in terms of national and international accreditations? Is a question from Rahul. Rahul, primarily see for a lot of national accreditations to happen or international accreditations to happen, there should be at least a couple of batches to be passed out for us to be eligible for those rankings. And whereas if you see Ecole Central or Central, so like our partner school, they are ranked 79th in the world by QS rankings. QS rankings is one of the world-renowned rankings, and Ecole Central is ranked 79th in that category. And we have collaborated with them, so you can understand the quality of education which will be offered here. How are extracurricular activities in MEC, and what about spoken English language?
So in the first couple of semesters, we do have an English course where you are asked to come out and have a conversation. So I think spoken language is spoken English is taken care of. Once you shed your inhibition, go out there and be able to express yourself in front of a class of, let's say, 40, 50. And I think that takes care of the spoken English part of it. Yes, we do have other English courses. We had a course for our batch on movie reviews, movie critiquing, critic writing. I don't remember. We had one on cultural studies, which was a very interesting topic about a lot of cultural studies in terms of contemporary culture, in terms of sports, in terms of other things that actually affect us. It is a fun course to be a part of, and it's a break from all the hectic academic things that you learn at campus. And this is like a fun course where you actually go out, express your feelings, have a nice debate, and go out with a smile at the end of the day.
I have another exam on 25th. What are the alternates available? So Venkatesan, so if in case you're writing any other exam or you're not going to be available on that day, you can some representatives on your behalf can come along with documents required, and they can block the seat for you. And subsequently, probably within a week or 10 days time, the student has to come and interact with the faculty. So that's an option which we give in case you're stuck with some other exam or something else happening on 25th of May. We give an option where a representative can come in and attend the counseling session. When is the first phase counseling? I'm repeating once again, it is 25th of May. After BTech, is there a management course plan? So the thing is that there's a recent development which has happened. Like the Telangana government has recently passed a private university bill. So probably we are currently only an engineering college, but yes, as a part of the course, a lot of inputs are given to students on management related topics. But coming to larger part, having a professional management degree, probably once we become a university, we would be able to kind of launch. We have plans to launch many other courses as well. Probably management is one of them. How flexible is curriculum and to accommodate electives and minors?
Electives, yes. Minors, not really. So electives, we as part of CSE, we haven't had any electives as of now. We will be having them in the next semester. And I think the batch of mechanical had 2 electives, if I'm not wrong, as a part of the curriculum. So yes, we do have electives, which are subject related, as well as open electives, which people from any branch can choose. So yes, we do have, but I'm not very sure about the concept of minors. And I do not know if the college does intend to have this as a part of the curriculum in the years to go.
JEE score is 65 and holiday rank is 1,48,000. Can I get civil engineering? Yes. So what happens typically is now we have called students with scores of 74 and above, and for students who are less than 74 and probably less than 2,20,000 rank, you can expect an intimation from us sometime around 3rd week of June when the vacancy arises, and there is a possibility that you can get into civil engineering subject to availability of seats. Is French course must at MEC? Yes, like French course, it's like it's part of the course. Like first 2 years, it is mandatory that every student takes up the course. Subsequently, it is optional. Is there any college tour to any place? So like we do have for example, there's an adventure club which is there on a campus. The students go on a trekking drive or something like that. So that's something which is driven by clubs. So if you talk about industrial tours or anything as such, our students go to these internships and stuff like that. So there's no, I know, of course, yes, some of our students have gone to some of the industries in and around Hyderabad and visited those places. Is my seat assured if I get 2250 in computer science? Jyoti, if you get a score of 2215 SAT, as I said, the possibilities of computer science are very high, but it purely depends on the availability of seats and also on how the student does in the interaction with the faculty. So we're almost through. If you have any questions, we just have about 5 minutes of time left, so we'll take a couple of more questions if anyone would have. So please drop in any questions if you would have. Who teaches French in the college? As I mentioned earlier, Alliance Francaise is something is an authorized organization who teach French to our students. SAT score 1750, chance of to get counseling phase, Sarvesh. So if you get a score, you will be eligible for admission to the college only once you get 1800 in SAT. If me and my sister are joining MEC, can the fees be relaxed? No, unfortunately, we have a standard fee structure which is applicable to all the eligible students. Continuity of faculty is ensured. Yes, see, like Rahul, the thing is that as any organization would have, we also would have attrition happening at any university or any college. But yes, we would ensure that if in case some faculty are leaving, we would ensure that the quality of faculty is maintained. The person who's replacing the faculty who's exiting would be of the same level. Can I get to meet industry leaders in person? So the question from Mukesh. So we have a CXO series where every Thursday there are a lot of industry leaders who come and talk to the students. They share their experiences, bring in the industry perspective of the students, which happens every Thursday. But apart from that, that's a one-on-one individual interaction. I mean, it's not a one-on-one individual interaction, but it's a classroom delivery which happens from the expert. So, but yes, if you had any questions, you can always ask the question during that interaction with the industry leader. So yeah, so we're almost done. So no further questions. So thank you all. Thank you for joining in. Thank you, Athish, for coming in on a Sunday and sharing your thoughts with the students and the parents who logged in online. So this session has been recorded and the link would be shared on a Facebook page. And also subsequently this Wednesday, that is on 23rd May, we have another webinar on Meet the Dean. We have a Dean Academics who will be talking to you on an academic perspective of MEC. So we request the students and parents to drop in. It's an evening 4 to 5. So please do log in online and attend that session as well. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.